Bookish romantics, skeptical readers, and those who just can't seem to commit to their TBR. This is Spines and Sparks, the only show where books find their perfect reader, whether they're ready for the relationship or not. Now, matchmaking isn't for the faint of heart, but lucky for you, I've had some training. You see, my time with Emily the Matchmaker taught me a few things. Critical things about compatibility, gut instincts, and knowing when to push a hesitant reader toward their literary soulmate. So today, we're diving in with 3 incredible booktubers, each with their own reading tastes, quirks, and occasional bookish baggage. My job? To find them the book they didn't know they needed, but now they can't live without. I'm Nick, and this is DrCrankyPantsReads presents Spines and Sparks. Stick around because love at first read is real, and I intend to prove it. Before we dive into this literary matchmaking masterclass, let's talk about the fine folks who made this chaos possible. First up, Aaron from Aaron Read a Book, the brilliant mind behind the original tag. Now I'm taking some liberties because, of course I have. But the heart of this matchmaking madness, that's all Aaron. And then there's Stuart, who tagged me again, ensuring that once more I take on the sacred duty of finding books their rightful raters. Stuart, I hope you're happy because here we go again. Now, for those of you new to Spines and Sparks, let me remind you how this works. We have 3 readers, and each has 3 hand-picked contenders, books carefully, expertly, some would say flawlessly, chosen to be their one true match. I'll break down each option, build the case, and then with all the authority of a pushy bookstore clerk who knows you're going to love this, I will choose for them. Because left to their own devices, readers hesitate. They overthink. They waffle, if you will. And I will simply not stand for it. So without much further ado, let's meet our first contestant and find them their perfect literary soulmate. Connie is a retired middle school librarian, which means she's spent decades finding the perfect books for young readers, curating unforgettable stories and championing books that spark curiosity and conversation. Middle grade fiction? Absolutely. Young adult novels? Yes, please. Thought-provoking adult fiction? Ya betcha. But Connie isn't just a reader, she's a book advocate. She understands that stories don't just live on shelves, they become part of our lives. And if there's one thing she loves more than a great book, it's passing that great book onto someone else. So what do we need? A book she'll love not just for herself, but one she'll want to pass along to the next lucky reader. Let's meet our contenders. Contestant number 1, The Night Diary by Veera Hernanandani. Connie, this isn't just a historical fiction novel, it's a deeply personal, beautifully written middle grade story that captures a pivotal moment through the eyes of a child. 12-year-old Nisha has always felt caught between 2 worlds, her Hindu father and Muslim mother, her quiet nature and her longing to speak up. But when India is suddenly split into 2 countries during partition, her family is forced to flee, leaving everything behind. Everything they've ever known. Told entirely through Nisha's diary entries to her late mother, this book is a heart-wrenching, intimate look at identity, displacement, and resilience. You have an instinct for books that bridge history with young readers, making complex topics accessible and meaningful. The Night Diary doesn't just tell a story, it invites discussion, making it the kind of book you'll want to pass along to anyone who needs a novel that lingers long after the last page. This novel is tender, yet powerful, written with a sense of quiet urgency that makes it both deeply emotional and historically significant. If a book can be both a history lesson and an unforgettable story, this is it. Contestant number 2, The Swifts, A Diary of Scoundrels by Beth Lincoln. Connie, I know you love a book that plays with language, embraces mystery, and refuses to take itself too seriously. And this one has your name written all over it. Shenanigans Swift. Yes, that's her real name, and I want you to meet her. In the Swift family, your name dictates your fate, and she's expected to be just as mischievous as her name suggests. But when a murder disrupts the family reunion, Shenanigans decides to rewrite her own story and solve the case herself. This book is wickedly clever, blending mystery, humor, and wonderful wordplay in a way that middle grade readers will love. But so will the adult readers who recommend books to them. It's the perfect mix of eccentric family drama, puzzles, and adventure, making it exactly the kind of smart, energetic novel that would thrive in a librarian's hands. It's Knives Out meets Lemony Snicket, fast-paced, full of wordplay, and packed with personality. If a book can keep you laughing, guessing, and flipping pages at a breakneck speed, it's this one. And contestant number 3, this is The Librarianist by Patrick DeWitt. Connie, this one's for the lifelong reader in you, the one who understands that books aren't just stories, they're lifelong companions. Bob Comet has always lived a quiet life, finding his greatest joy in books. But now that he's retired, he starts volunteering at a senior center, slowly reconnecting with the world beyond the pages. Through new friendships, long-buried memories, and unexpected twists, Bob realizes that even the most unassuming lives are filled with extraordinary moments. A novel about a retired librarian finding purpose beyond the library? Come on, Connie, this is basically fate. But beyond that, this is a book about literature as both a comfort and a bridge to human connection, something you understand better than most. It's wryly funny, deeply introspective, and unafraid to explore the small yet profound ways in which books shape us. It's charming, melancholic, and full of humor, perfect for anyone who has ever felt that books make the best company. If you've ever wanted to step inside the mind of a lifelong reader and see how books shape a life, this is the novel for you. And the perfect match for Connie is The Librarianist. Not just because Bob Comet is also a retired librarian. Oh no, this is deeper than that. Connie, this book is about the ways in which stories provide both comfort and companionship. It's about stepping beyond the worlds we've lived in and embracing unexpected friendships, new experiences, and moments of connection that make life unpredictable and wonderful. This novel is a love letter to lifelong readers, and you, Connie, are the kind of reader who doesn't just cherish books, you share them. And The Librarianist? This is a book that's meant to be shared. May your shelves always be stacked with incredible stories, your journal pages filled with bookish joy, and your next great read always waiting just around the corner. Our next contestant is Alan from Alan's Reads. Alan is a reader with a detective's mind, whether he's uncovering the intricacies of a long-running mystery series, diving into historical narratives, or following the paper trails of war correspondence. His reading life is all about precision, curiosity, and books that stand the test of time. His shelves house the great detectives. Magritte, Dalglish, and Sherlock Holmes are all well-loved residents. But Alan doesn't stop at mysteries. He's drawn to historical reportage, immersive, multi-layered novels, and books that demand patience but reward the dedicated reader. So what do we need? A book that challenges his intellect, builds a rich world, and delivers intrigue on every page. Something that satisfies both the investigator and the historian in him. Let's meet our contenders. Contestant number 1 is The Quirks by Charles Palliser. Alan, you appreciate a good Dickensian saga, so what if I told you there's a modern novel that takes all the best parts of 19th century storytelling and turns it into a puzzle box of a book? Meet John Huffam, a young man who should have inherited a great fortune, but instead he's caught in a web of betrayal, deception, and legal maneuvering that stretches back generations. As John navigates a world of shadowy figures, lost wills, and cryptic clues, he, and the reader, must piece together the mystery of his family's past. Alan, this is a book that doesn't hand you a mystery, it makes you solve it. The Quirks is structured like an intricate puzzle, packed with hidden connections, unreliable narrators, and a slow-burning sense of unease. It's Victorian in scope, but postmodern in execution, perfect for a reader who enjoys a book that requires patience, attention to detail, and a detective's instinct. This is historical fiction with a razor-sharp mystery at its core. It doesn't just immerse you in a bygone era, it traps you, challenging you to untangle its secrets one revelation at a time. If you've ever wished for a novel that felt like solving a centuries-old case, this is it. Contestant number 2, The Death of Achilles, by Boris Akunin. Alan, you have a wide range of detectives on your shelves, but have you met Arist Findorin? Because trust me, this Russian sleuth deserves a spot in your detective lineup. When Findorin returns to Moscow after years abroad, he expects a hero's welcome. Instead, he finds his friend and war hero General Sobolev dead in his hotel room. The official cause? Natural causes, of course. But Findorin isn't convinced. His investigation takes him deep into the underbelly of Imperial Russia, where spies, assassins, and political power struggles turn what seemed like a simple case into a dangerous game of cat and mouse. This book bridges historical fiction and detective work, making it a perfect fit for a reader who enjoys both. Findorin isn't just a great detective, he's a brilliant strategist, blending deduction with espionage and action. And let's be real, you've read a lot of detective stories, Alan, but not one quite like this. This is a richly detailed, high-stakes historical mystery. Think Holmes meets Bond, but with a distinctly Russian flair. So if you're looking for a fresh take on the detective novel, one that balances methodical investigation with fast-paced intrigue, this is your match. Contestant number 3 is Mr. Norris Changes Trains by Christopher Isherwood. Alan, your fascination with war correspondence and historical narratives makes this an irresistible pick. This is a novel that places you on the ground level of history, offering a front row seat to a city on the brink of chaos. Set in 1930s Berlin, this novel follows an unassuming young Englishman who becomes entangled with the enigmatic Arthur Norris, a man whose secrets, political dealings, and mysterious friendships pull him into a world of intrigue, danger, and deception. As Berlin teeters on the edge of history, Alan, you'll feel the tension building in the air, knowing what's coming before the characters do. You appreciate books that illuminate the past, not just from the outside looking in, but from the inside before everything collapses. Isherwood's writing is sharp, immersive, and quietly foreboding. He captures the sense of unease that defined Berlin in the years leading up to World War II. This is a novel that doesn't just tell history, it places you right in the room as it unfolds. This book is part political thriller, part character study, and 100% must read for anyone who loves history told through the eyes of those who lived it. If you love books that make you feel like a witness to history, this is the one. And the perfect match for Alan is The Quincux. Alan, this book was made for you. It's intricate, full of deception and buried secrets, as well as being structured in a way that turns the reader into a detective, piecing together the mystery bit by bit. But let's be honest, if you've ever wished for a book that felt like a multi-generational conspiracy wrapped in a Victorian-style epic, this is it. It's dark, it's twisty, and packed with unreliable narrators, shifting identities, and a sense of impending doom lurking around every corner. Alan, may your shelves always be filled with mysteries worth solving and historical journeys worth taking. Next up, we have Julie from Bookish Travels. Julie isn't just a reader, she's an explorer. She doesn't just read books set in historical places, she visits them. She doesn't just collect vintage mysteries, she tracks them down in secondhand shops like a literary detective. Whether it's historical fiction, cozy mysteries, or immersive books that transport her across time and place, Julie loves a novel that makes her feel like she's stepping into another world. She's a dedicated Agatha Christie reader, a lover of books with atmosphere, and someone who understands the magic of discovering the perfect book in the wild. So what do we need? A book that brings history to life, weaves in intrigue, and offers just enough of the unexpected to keep her hooked. Let's meet the contenders. Contestant number 1 is The Winter Sea by Susanna Kearsley. Julie, you love books that pull you into history so completely you can almost smell the sea air and hear the distant echoes of the past. The Winter Sea does exactly that. When historical fiction author Carrie McClellan visits the ruins of Slains Castle in Scotland, she thinks she's there to research her next book. But as she starts writing, the story doesn't feel invented, it feels remembered. The details come to her with eerie accuracy, as though she's not just imagining history, but recalling it. As Carrie dives deeper into the past, she starts to wonder, could her connection to this story be more than just fiction? This book has everything you love, Julie. A richly detailed historical setting, a mystery woven through time, and a narrative that moves seamlessly between past and present. It's the kind of novel that begs to be read outdoors, preferably with a view of the sea and a cup of tea in hand. Contestant number 2 is The Bookseller of Florence by Ross King. Julie, let's be real. You don't just read about history, you go to history. You seek it out, you explore it, and you bring us along for the journey. And that's why The Bookseller of Florence is calling your name. This isn't just the story of a bookseller, it's the story of a world on the brink of change. In the heart of Renaissance Florence, Vespasiano da Bisticci is a master of his craft, handcrafting manuscripts for the most powerful figures of his time. But when a new invention, the printing press, threatens to make his entire world obsolete, he faces a battle between tradition and innovation. This book isn't just about books, it's about the power they hold, the way they shape civilizations, and the way they get lost, found, and preserved across time. If you've ever dreamed of stepping into an ancient bookshop filled with dust-covered treasures, rare manuscripts, and whispers of the past, this is your way in. And let's be honest, Julie, after reading this, you're absolutely going to want to go hunting for historic bookstores in Florence. Contestant number 3 is The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. Julie, you have a love of mystery with a strong sense of place, and this one takes you straight into Victorian London, but with a twist. Thaniel Steepleton, a government telegraphist, returns home one evening to find a mysterious pocket watch left for him. He has no idea who sent it or why until it unexpectedly saves his life. His search for answers leads him to Kita Mori, an enigmatic Japanese watchmaker whose intricate timepieces seem to predict the future. But is Mori simply a genius, or is there something far more strange at play? This book feels like stepping into a fog-laced London alleyway where every shadow holds a secret and every object might be more than it seems. It's the kind of book that lingers, keeping you guessing long after the final page. If you're looking for a mystery that plays with time, fate, and free will, all wrapped up in an atmosphere so rich you can practically hear the clock ticking, this is it. And the perfect match for Julie is The Winter Sea. Julie, this book was made for you. It has historical depth, a sweeping dual narrative, and a setting so vivid you'll feel the sea breeze on your face. It's the kind of book that demands to be read outside, in the kind of stunning locations you take us to in your videos. And let's be honest, by the time you finish, you'll be scouring travel sites for flights to Scotland. Now off you go, Julie. May your next bookish adventure be as breathtaking as your real life ones. And just like that, another episode, another round of perfect bookish pairings. Now I could say I appreciate you and I hope life is good, but let's be honest, I appreciate you more when you read the books I assign. So take this literary wisdom, put it to use, and report back. And if you dare to disagree with my choices, well, the comments are right there. I'll be waiting. Until next time, keep your books close, your recommendations closer, and your skepticism to yourself.